What's up, everybody? Emceemur here, and welcome back to the show. And it is time once again to have another real, in-depth conversation and analysis, specifically about the Wii U. And you can argue maybe it's not time for that, but I'm going to say that it is, in the sense that I am here to talk to you today about a few reasons that, in my mind, the Wii U is still, to scale, the superior console to its successor, the Nintendo Switch. And I want to preface all of this by saying this is not an anti-Switch video, alright? If you watch the show, you know I love Nintendo, and I love everything Nintendo, and I love my Switch. But again, these are some thoughts I've had on my mind for a while that I just haven't had time to share with the gaming community, so it's time to do that. I want to discuss a few reasons why in 2019, to scale, the Wii U is still the better console between it and the Nintendo Switch. Let's get started. So here we go, and again, I want to preface this, once again, reiterate that this is not an anti-Switch video. You know that I love Nintendo and the Switch, but the Switch is like this newborn baby, or at least it was, that everyone was just enamored with, and naturally it had a lot of the same traits as its older sibling, and we all oohed and awed as it finally walked and it finally talked. But the older sibling was already walking and talking and had TurboGrafx 16 games in its eShop, and probably feels a little left out that it's not getting the attention, right? The biggest thing that Wii U has over the Switch, both to scale and still today, is online Call of Duty with voice chat. And it honestly didn't seem like a lot to ask back then, so why is it too much to ask now? The answer to that lies in the evolution of COD as a whole. A Switch out of the box couldn't hold a third of the game at its current size. But there's obviously ways around that with SD cards, and since third-party support is allegedly the Switch's strong suit over its predecessor, how can it truly claim that without having installments in one of the largest existing franchises in gaming? I'm playing Black Ops 2 again on Wii U in 2019, and it feels unbelievably good with native voice chat. I've even had people insist that the voice chat never existed on Wii U, but it did, and it still does. Here it is. And the UI on the pad is just really neat and obviously unique to the version. And of course, this game could be played on Xbox One, but that point is kind of irrelevant to this discussion. There's tons of third-party stuff on Switch, and some of it's Activision, so that's not the issue. The issue is more likely to be that the Switch is not a big enough step forward to run the latest in COD games. Wii U even got Ghosts, which was the first cross-gen COD, and those growing pains were, in my opinion, a big contributor to the overall discontent of the community with that installment of the franchise. But this too is really irrelevant to the discussion. The focus here is that Wii U got Ghosts and ran Ghosts, a Nintendo system that was getting the annual CODs, versus one that currently isn't. And like COD or not, you can't deny its importance as a draw, as a franchise, as what it is, its availability and the need for that. Wii U obviously isn't still getting new CODs, but it got them then, and that strengthens the argument that to scale, it's still the better system. So I'm seeing third-party gaming news sites talking about Nintendo account links on the Call of Duty website, and I don't know whether to believe this or not. There's so much bogus news out there, and looking at the site on my end, I certainly don't see anything like that. But they're using this as the segue for, you know, moving on into, oh, maybe we're getting Modern Warfare on the Switch, or Call of Duty's coming soon to Switch. I just don't see that happening, especially not this year. I mean, Modern Warfare, if it's coming, it's the biggest surprise in gaming history, because that game's boxed and ready to ship. Obviously, we're in the month that it's going to launch. So, it's important to note But as of right now, there's still no Call of Duty on Switch. And you know, even if there was, PlayStation 4 is still where you want to play anyway. A controller layout being the only thing keeping Xbox even viable in the race. But you're talking about an esports game like that that's not even going to be in 4K. You're talking about the Switch trying to run neck and neck with what we're about to have in the way of Sony and Microsoft hardware. I mean, is this even viable for Nintendo? I mean, for them, yes, by the numbers, how many Switches there are, and how many copies of COD they would probably sell to anybody that owns a Switch or that only owns a Switch. But for the consumers, really, no. We lose at that point. It's going to be $60. And you're not getting what the game is truly capable of, because the hardware just can't push that for you. I mean, at least Wii U could somewhat graphically compete with its competitors at that time and at that level. Switch COD versus a PS5 or this Project Scarlet thing, I mean, come on, are we done here? Wii U, at least to scale in this sense, outdoes the Switch. Now, I told you there were two reasons, and there are. Wii U had Madden. It had it. It ran it, and Switch does not. Still, despite having current installments of FIFA, which is second to Madden as far as being the EA Sports flagship. Now, Madden 13 may not still be online, but that's on EA, not Nintendo. I mean, Madden 13 isn't still online anywhere. So, really, here's another humongous franchise that Wii U had and Switch does not. Now, EA didn't continue to publish Wii U versions of Madden due to poor Wii U console sales, but we all know the Switch is selling like mad, and there aren't any current plans to bring Madden to Switch, as far as I've heard. And what's more, no real good reason why. Like COD, Madden ain't a small game either. I mean, updates every time a player farts, new MUT cards, etc., etc. Lots of updates, lots of gigs swallowed up. So, can Switch even run a current Madden release? It begs that question. And, well, in its day, Wii U could. So, all that being yet another department in which to scale, the Wii U outdid the Switch. Now, if you saw the thumbnail, you might have noticed there was a bonus third reason. And there is. I hinted at it earlier in the presentation. That eShop, though. The TurboGrafx games up in here. And you can stop there. You can stop there. You really can, because there's a lot of them. They're modestly priced, and you know if any of this were announced for the Switch shop, people would be acting like it was the second coming. YouTubers' O-faces and their clickbait announcement and reaction vid thumbnails would stretch to Guinness World Record achieving proportions, so you can stop there. But we won't. So much Game Boy Advance, so much Nintendo 64, classic Wii titles, Nintendo DS, NES games with discounts if purchased already on Wii, and some fancy Super Nintendo stuff as well, which may be added to Switch Online later, but for now aren't in its current lineup. So people begged for virtual console stuff on Switch, but it's right here on Wii U. It's here, and it always was, which begs the question, why was there such a wave of bandwagon Wii U hate recently? As if the Switch needed validation of some kind? I mean, it doesn't. And funny enough, there seems to be now a resurgence of Wii U appreciation, which you can probably just chalk up to tubers parroting other tubers, but I would say that some of it's definitely genuine, and I haven't stopped singing its praises. I've been a Wii U fan since day one. That's just how it is. It's Nintendo. It's awesome. These thoughts have been on my mind, as well as the desire to just look back at these franchises on Wii U. It's food for thought. A lot to consider, isn't it? Well, there you have it. My thoughts. Out of my mind, off my chest. They're out there. It's a perspective, you know, kind of like the perspective you've probably had on my hair, you know, in this episode. I really don't know what's going on with it. Seems like it has a mind of its own. I've kind of got a Conway Twitty thing going on today. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but that's not why we're here. I'm talking about a perspective on the Wii U. I wish I didn't feel so strongly about it, but I do. In my mind, that's just where I'm at with it. To scale, it is still the superior console. It really had some great things going on at its level. To scale, those two words. is a big part of the argument there. But I feel this was important to discuss. In the not too distant past, as we've discussed, there was this wave of hate for the Wii U and the 3DS for that matter, and both were uncalled for. They just were. I'm sorry. I'm not going to argue that. That's just straight up. Nothing else to say there. But again, this is a perspective here that I wanted to offer and get some feedback on. And it's a perspective that I don't know that anybody else has offered. If they have, I mean, stop me if you heard this one, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, just some thoughts that I had, and I wanted to get them out there and, you know, kick it around, get a little feedback. And I hope that I will get that feedback. That's what the comment section is for. Leave me a comment below and let me know what you think about everything that you saw here in this video today, because you know that I love getting a conversation going with you right here on the Emceemur Show. I hope that you liked this video. I hope that you're going to share this video with a friend. I hope that you drop a like on this video, and then most importantly, you're going to subscribe to the Emceemur Show and be a part of our nation. We're rising up all the fantastic things that we do right here on the show you need to be a part of, and make sure that you smack that notification bell so that you are always the first to know when new content goes live. You know that I love making it for you. So many great things coming your way here on the show. So many great things to discuss. Emceemur signing out, and I will see each and every one of you again next time.